Hi, and thanks for joining CVTV, bringing you the latest insights and updates from across the channel. Today we are with Q Advisors, and joining us today are two partners, Gerry DeHaven and Jordan Rupar. Welcome to CVTV.
Good to be with you.
Good to be with you all.
Great to have you here. Today we're going to be talking about MSP verticalization and specifically AI. To start off, how does AI aid in MSP verticalization?
Well, I'll kick it off, Jordan, and maybe you can fill in. MSPs are going through rapid transformation. We've seen AI deployed initially in back offices to create efficiencies. But the real advantage for MSPs looking to create a vertical practice is the ability to automate their workflows, tailor compliance, tie IT performance directly to business outcomes. There are literally hundreds of different examples of AI MSPs creating specialized automation to handle, onboarding for new users, training new salespeople to upsell, having tier one help desk, and actually even beyond tier one, where agentic AI is going deeper into conversations. And then not unimportantly, too, the ability to connect different tools and systems in the back office, which used to take more of a manual process internally.
I agree. Yeah, and we're seeing this actually become monetized. I think it's differentiating MSPs from just being that commoditized IT help desk to being more of the trusted IT service partner, and really helping enterprises with their business outcomes of how can we make your business better for the end client. And so we've seen vertical specific AI applications. As Gerry mentioned, it not only allows the MSP to more cost effectively build AI tools, like it could be a banking focused copilot or chatbot. It could be a higher education student support chatbot. But MSPs have the opportunity to engage with their clients to build these AI agents and chatbots on the front end and also manage them along the way and really help them optimize those business outcomes. So it becomes less of answering the question of how can an MSP just address your workplace productivity tools to how can we help you address better business outcomes. And so it's been really interesting to kind of see the MSP model change. And we see that being monetized both on the front end and more professional services revenue around building AI agents and chatbots and AI consulting to actually monetizing that and fine-tuning LLMs and use cases along the way under a recurring managed service contract. So it's been really fascinating to kind of watch the industry evolve as AI progresses.
Excellent. Now, what separates the MSPs winning with AI today from those who are still catching up? And where do you see the biggest competitive advantages showing up?
Jordan, should I kick it off?
Sure. Yeah, go for it, Gerry.
I guess going back to some things Jordan said, rather than being conceptual, that they're in practice. And MSPs are starting to get the benefits of AI's promise. And examples can be, very automated service delivery, zero touch resolution for tier one and beyond support, which at the end of the day creates margin expansion because labor costs are going down and you're getting more efficiencies out of those people. So the advantage or separation is the MSPs who have done that early are seeing the fruits of that deployment and being able now to reinvest working capital into other areas, like, for example, monetizing the data intelligence that they're collecting across these different verticals.
Yeah, and I'll bring up some examples we've seen in clients. So, I think it's showing up in MSPs is like having a more efficient NOC or network operations center, automating all tier one alerts if you have a more advanced SOC. I mean, historically, as an MSSP or cybersecurity partner, it's been really hard to find, security analyst talent. And not only attaining that talent, but retaining it. It's highly skilled talent, and you have to have those analysts on call 24/7, since most security attacks happen overnight. So I think it's been really interesting to see from some of our MSSP clients automating tier 1 and tier 2 SOC alerts. It shows up in improved gross margins, SOC efficiency, as well as kind of solves that hiring kind of supply demand gap of finding that skilled SOC analyst support. So it's been really, really great to see that both in the numbers, and I think just in AI SOC tooling, if we could get beyond the hallucinations of kind of the early gen AI SOC tools and features that a lot of the MSSPs have built, as well as some of the larger security vendors, if we can move beyond that, I think it's ultimately going to result in better outcomes for enterprises and their privacy and security frameworks. So, but I think in terms of differentiating, it's that first step, as Gerry mentioned, as implementing it into your workflows, and then that monetization piece comes after. So implementing it in terms of the MSP model really shows up in that knock and SOC.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's talk about MSPs who are earning premium valuations. What are some characteristics that you're seeing or some differentiating factors?
We're hitting on two big ones here, right? AI and verticalization, or having a defensible and hopefully demonstrable AI strategy, and verticalization. We continue to see premium valuations for particularly compliance or regulatory sensitive verticals like finance, like healthcare, because of some of the back office requirements required, as Jordan just alluded to. Target customers make a big difference. If you're focused on the SMBs in the space versus the mid-market and enterprise, you're going to trade probably lower, although there are some exceptions to that, because the argument to pursue an SMB strategy is that 95% of SMBs need the same thing. So it's highly you can duplicate your offering without a whole lot of customization, which is the antithesis, right, with verticals. Growth is always a big one. We want to see MSPs that are growing at or above the macro forecasts, which are high single digits for the next 5 years. I think geographic reach, although maybe not as critical, and obviously profitable growth. There are probably some product separations too, and I'll leave Jordan something to talk about.
Yeah, Gerry. I'll say the biggest thing, and this has kind of been a prominent theme over the last couple of years, but it's answering the question of what is your right to win. And I think Gerry hit on most of them. It's, do you have a vertical focus? Do you have a moat in a specific vertical like financial services or healthcare? Do you have a target market? What is your ICP? It's surprising how many new clients we bring on board that when we ask what their ideal customer profile is, or ICP, they kind of stumble around answering that question. And so I think whether you are SMB focused or you're mid-market enterprise, you have that focus at the end of the day, and that right to win is and can answer the question of why you do well in that segment. The other thing we're seeing, just given some of the growth trends in MSPs, I mean, a good growth rate in the MSP world, I think these days organically is anywhere from 9 to 11%. And the other key metric that folks look at is retention, and having something north of net revenue retention of 100% plus, and then gross retention of 90% plus. And this is revenue retention. So these are key stats. Gerry mentioned growth, but kind of drilling in at the customer level. What's going on? Are you selling new logos? That's great. But what's going on with your existing base? Is that growing? Are customers buying more than one solution? These are all questions that MSPs have to be able to answer fairly quickly and will ultimately drive premium valuations.
Excellent. And what role does Q Advisors play in the M&A landscape on the channel today?
We spend a large majority of our time in tech-enabled services and IT services and managed services. We're a team of 35 based here in Denver with an office in Munich and some folks scattered around. And we work with MSPs of all different flavors all over the world. We're always speaking to the private equity firms that are most active in investing. And I think the reason our clients choose to work with us is we know the space as well as anyone. We're at all the conferences. We write a lot of thought pieces. We are a source for PEs who have an investment thesis in MSP, and we make it our job to stay in touch with the right investors while also tracking all the active buyers in the space too.
Yeah, and I will say we are known for kind of taking a long-term partnership approach. So we partner often with founders who haven't raised capital yet, and are in that journey, right? And so we help them with their, first step in bringing maybe a private equity partner in, accelerating their growth via M&A. And then we often show up that 3 to 5 years later, and help them do that bigger transaction. And so we love that. We love partnering with founders early. And yeah, we also like to have fun. So transactions can be stressful, but at the end of the day, we're in a really exciting industry. Yeah, we're along for the ride with founders and private equity owners as well who already own platforms.
How can we learn more information about Q Advisors?
Jordan.
Website. We are often at industry conferences. We attend industry conferences. So we attend the conferences that focus on the channel, MSP focused events. We sometimes hold our own roundtables, etc. But we love to have a conversation. So if you're a founder, you're just looking for some advice in terms of, where do I take my business over the next 3 years? Like, it doesn't have to be I'm looking to sell right away or I'm looking to raise capital right away, but like, how should I be best positioned? And we would love to have a conversation with you, and just kind of position you and trade notes on the industry in terms of what we're seeing and kind of where we see things going. But yeah, hopefully it's easy to reach us. We've put our info on the website. But yeah, would love to have a conversation.
Website is qllc.com. All of our email addresses are on there. And the other thing we do is publish quarterly industry reports across multiple sectors. So if you're not on our mailing list, reach out and we'll make sure to add you.
Fantastic. That's qllc.com. Jordan and Gerry, it's been great chatting with you today. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll catch you next time on CVTV.
Thank you.
Thank you.